Hi, welcome back to another hour with Crowder. With me, your host Crowder. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you're already a subscriber, go ahead and ding the bell so that you can get all of my latest podcast interviews every Tuesday. And today we got yet again another good ass guest. Wally, what's up?
What's good, Shaki? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Everybody always mispronounce my name. It's just Shaky.
Shaky? Oh shit,
Yeah.
my fault. My fault.
No. I mean, you would have really fucked up the Shaquoria one.
Oh no, and that's why I was like, all right, I'll just go for the little abbreviated one. I'm good there.
Yeah, it'd be like that. But I've seen you from your first podcast. We was talking a little bit off air about your podcast, Off The Stoop. Tell people a little bit about yourself because I know you from Off The Stoop and I follow you and I listen to all of your episodes. You ranting and raving about trending things in politics, from sports to religions, everything.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm Wally Hipolito. I'm from the oh fuck, I can't say this. Oh, can I curse here?
Yeah, you can. I curse all the time. Fuck is my favorite word.
Okay, cool. So I'm from San Francisco, actually, from the Bay. Off the Stoop podcast is just like my brainchild. It's a weekly podcast show where I kind of just dive into whatever I feel like for the week. Like you said, I go into sports, politics, I get into movies, pop culture, cultural references, and yeah, it's just like a fun little project. It's basically my journalistic instincts kind of coming out of me. And, one of the things I really want to do is highlight, oh shit, it's like highlight the Filipino American. You good? We got malfunction.
I'm sorry, y'all, but Coke just.
We gotta cut that. No, actually, we gotta keep that in.
No, we gotta keep it in. Oh shit! This is definitely the fucking clip,
bro. Ooh, damn. Hey, that's what happens when you're talking to Off the Stoop. That's what happens when you're talking to me.
Oh
shit! Something's gonna pop off.
Shut the fuck up.
That was no coincidence. I put that energy out there.
Shut up, bro. Your ass about to make me cry. And the soda that busted in my face, though. But, yeah, we definitely gonna keep that in. Don't cut that shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Go back to your,
Nah, you good.
Go back to your introduction, bro.
Yeah, so, Off the Stoop, like I said, so I actually graduated college with
Look, we can't even get back on track.
With a degree in journalism and history, so I'm, like, very ingrained in, like, writing, reading, and research, and, I just, for its faults, I do have, like, an affinity for American history and history in general, so, like, Off the Stoop is just me culminating in all of that, and, just me riffing and talking shit every week. But yeah, it's a lot to highlight. The last thing about it is I want to highlight my Filipino American culture and like highlight the people in it as well.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm gonna be sticky for all day now. But
it's good.
Man, hell no. But yeah, like I've been with you not from the jump because I only just started listening to podcasts. Actually, no. Okay, so I started listening to podcasts maybe a little 2 years ago. And then I started my podcast last year. Yeah, throughout the COVID. That was crazy. And then I started listening to other people's podcasts, and yours in particular, I gravitated towards the most because of your rants. Like your little rants about stuff. And I was like, he's on the money with this shit. One in particular that you did about Filipino excellence. I mean, that's a newer one, but you've done other episodes about Filipino excellence, and I watched those, not watch them, but I listened to those on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Cast, all those places that you do put your platform on. And honestly, I didn't know that you was Filipino. I thought you were Mexican, bro.
No, straight up, that's what everybody thinks. It really goes by my hairstyle. if I grow my mustache out, if I want to like grow it out over my lip. And my hair is long right now, so everybody kind of thinks I'm Dominican. And yeah, um, nah, not like Filipinos are like not a monolith. Like it's so like we all look hella different. Like a lot of my cousins, a lot of them look like more of the Asian Chinese side because Philippines is like colonized by Spain, China, and other parts of Asia, and most recently the U.S. But they pulled out in like 45 after World War II, right? But yeah, I look like the perfect mix. I'm told I look like the perfect mix of like Hispanic and the Negritos. Those are like the mountain people up in the Philippines. So like I have a lot of that genealogy, and I didn't like inherit a lot of the like Chinese genealogy, Chinese genetics that other Filipinos would have.
So does that make you part of like the Asian community? Because you say in your last episode when you was talking about the Asian hate thing, you was
Mhm.
like we, and then you say Filipino, and I was like, okay, so which one is he? Is he Asian or he Filipino?
Yeah, that's a great catch actually. That's one of the things that kind of fucks me up because growing up when you have to like check in for the DMV, you good?
Yeah, I'm
when
good.
you
No, keep
yeah,
going.
now when you check into the DMV and got to do your ethnicity or something, right? So you do like Asian or Pacific Islander. Um, that used to be like two of the boxes, and it was hard because we are Southeast Asian, but Asians have like this history with Filipinos. It's like they're kind of looked down on. We're kind of like we were considered like the bottom of Asian like excellence. So and we were like heavily under resourced, heavily like underrepresented. When it's crazy because Filipino Americans make up we're like the second highest Asian American group, or we might be the first highest Asian American group in the nation. So like per capita, there's like 5 in 10 every people are Filipino, or Asian Americans are Filipino here. And for a long, to go back to your question, we are Asian, but it just took a long time for people to acknowledge that. So like a lot of time, I bet other Filipinos can attest it. Is like they checked out that they was Pacific Islander because we look like baby ass Samoans. We look like small ass Tongans. So it's like, all right, if you don't want to claim us as Asians, like particularly, like Chinese, Japanese, others, then we're just gonna call ourselves Pacific Islander. Like fuck y'all. But now like a lot of shit is going on. It's like, oh, we got to band together. Like, we got to be cool. Like, you're Asian. Come here, come here. I'm like, all right, like, whatever.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, folks. So, so so that's kind of like even hating your own community. Like, it's kind of like y'all are like okay, like in the black community, we favor fairer skinned black people, and so
hmm
y'all are like the dark skin of y'all community.
That's exactly right. No, that's spot on. And even, I mean, colorism happens not even within like the Asian community. It comes like within the Filipino community too. It's a lot like the black community where, back then, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a cute ass kid, so they wasn't really tripping off me. But if my other kids, they were hella dark. We'd be outside playing, and then they weren't considered cute because they would be told they're too dark. You need to get this whitening bar of soap because American culture is so ingrained in the Philippines that fair skin, being white, being light is the move out there.
Yeah, but what is your take on the Asian hate, the new propaganda movement? Because that's basically what it is. I'm gonna just say it off the bat. This is a whole propaganda move from the government. What is your take on the Asian hate crimes that's going on?
I'm not gonna say that Asian hate crimes haven't risen, but it's a lot like what you're saying. It kind of is like the flavor of the month. Last year the catalyst was obviously Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. Um, this year it's a bunch of Asians, and that propaganda is dangerous because not it's not getting out there right now. But I got a lot of Hispanic friends, and a lot of in California, a lot of people are attacking Hispanic folks. Street vendors, carts, and things like that. But that story isn't getting out there because Asian American and Pacific Islander hate is the flavor of the month. It's what the news, what the media cycle wants us to talk about right now. And yeah, I don't want to diminish, anybody's experiences or anything. Like, of course, you're being attacked. Of course, that's happening, but it's not only happening to our community. It's the only thing that's being highlighted right now. That's what it is.
See, my thing is that I really like you said, I'm with you on it. Like, it's not that it ain't happening. It's just now, why is it just now being brought up in the news? Why is it that it's this big deal now if it's always been happening? And I feel like it's kind of like a play maybe on, oh, all lives matter, maybe. Like, oh, see, not only you get your ass whooped in the street, but Asians do too. So it could be a ploy
Yeah.
from that, like all lives matter, or it could just be that they're trying to. I feel like they're trying to rally up the Asians to get their vote because Asians are pretty big here in America. That their
Hmm.
economic power over here is crazy. So
Yeah.
who better to get than the Asian people? They know they ain't getting Mexican people. They know they ain't getting black people. They already got the white people. So what is the next biggest? Not I don't know which one. Maybe because two wings of the same bird, Democrat and Republicans. I don't trust neither one of them. But Democrats, we know that they love to pander with the black
Hmm.
people. What did Kamala Harris go out there? Oh, sister girl,
Oh,
chicken,
yep.
chicken,
She not
cornbread.
so black anymore, huh? She
Yeah,
ain't having
yeah,
catfish or nothing lately, huh? Since she got
yeah,
in the White House.
yeah. She stepped out that fucking plane with them damn Tims, and then the nasty Tim. Them Tims was nasty, bruh.
Yo, the Burlington coat factories. She didn't even
them,
straight up the Burlington coat factories, the Ross pay for less. I was like, no,
them,
dude,
them
baby,
was
no.
the Ross ones. Them was the Tims that when you walk up to your mom and say, "Man, everybody else got Tims," and she say, "Okay," and she go get you them shits.
Without going with you, she
Yeah,
just came home with them, right? She's like, what size are you again?
yeah. It was them shit she got off. So all that sister girl hood put hot sauce on my chicken shit is out the fucking window. And so we know how the Democrats pander to racists. I mean, to racists, not racism people, but racists. So I think that this is just another propaganda ploy for them to say, look, we care about you, Asian community. Please come over here. Please be with us. We make sure that you're safe. And I know a lot of Asian people. They think the same thing I think. They don't think that it's happening, bro.
Yeah, the thing with all this shit going on is, I'm not claiming that I'm the most worldly person or know everything that's fucking going on, but I read and I look at shit and I try to analyze, right? Like you said, what's going on right now to distract us from what's actually happening. And one of the crazy things, one of the big, like, what is it called? One of the big things people were saying was how black people can help the Asian American community. And that sparked up a huge fucking like debate, a huge controversy in the black community. Like I was going on Clubhouse all the time. Asian folks were saying, black people come and help us. Black folks were having rooms saying, why like should we help them? Why should we help them? And it's crazy because maybe because I'm Filipino and I know and like I said, we understand. I completely no, I'm not gonna say I completely understand the struggle of the black person, but I know the history. Like I've seen it, I've read it, and it's crazy that this is happening now because black people are getting reparations. That is the bit like. That is a huge fucking turning point right now in the black community, and
What?
like that's the thing that
Wait a
black
minute.
community has been fighting for.
You say we getting reparations? Hell.
Black people are starting to get reparations. So in Illinois, a small city in Illinois actually got reparations last week, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was the first city. Um, I think they're getting like 23 grand a year per person, something like that. I don't know like the complete like numbers or anything, but the black community is starting to get their reparations. And yeah, this town in Illinois is the start. And this is like the catalyst for, people of people of slave descent to get their reparations. And this is big. This is like the country owning up to their shit and saying, okay, like we know what, like we're acknowledging what we did, and we're going to try to make it better. And all this is going through, I think it's going through taxes and shit too. So the government is actually paying for it. um and yeah, it's just crazy. The timing is just crazy, where all this Asian American propaganda is happening, where only the black community is attacking. Where I just read this statistic where it like it's only been 5% of African Americans attacking like Asian Americans, and it's like 95% white. But we on the internet, of course, social media be on that fuck shit. Like we only see
Yeah.
black people. We only see black people attacking Asians. I mean, I don't know like if that's happening around you, but like, you know, I've seen I've seen one video in my community that it's happened to, but like for the wider part of the community, like it's a couple white guys. It's been like one black kid, but then that one black kid, or like those 2 or 3 black folks, those get blown up for like 3 or 4 days, and the white kid kind of just gets thrown to the side.
Yeah, especially with that one situation that happened at the massage parlor. Went in and killed all those Asian people, and the story was for a split second. But then you got this other thing with certain black people attacking Asians, and it's just running. It's just a rollout everywhere. And honestly, I don't believe that either. I feel like when I looked up the background of their names, it's like some African shit, like not no
Mm.
American shit. It's like they names are weird. Black people over here in America, we got like Crowder, Johnson, Stillman, but this is like some
Mm.
crazy African shit. And so when I know about that, I know how crisis actors work. They usually don't get people that's from the city, just like the whole thing that happened with the George Floyd thing. Remember with the umbrella man? And then they looked them up, and then it was like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's what I feel like this is. I feel that these are non-black, like American black people doing these things. They're getting them from other countries, saying, "Hey, we'll give you citizenship here. Do this, play our game, and you'll be okay." And because I mean, if you look at the black people that's doing this, it's like black people that like the whole thing that happened with the one dude. I think he had like a pink shirt on and like a fedora, and he's like, "You fucking Asians," and I'm like, "That ain't
Oh
even no
yeah,
black. That ain't even
yeah.
some
But
shit that a black person will say, bro."
like black people don't talk like that.
Yes, it's like a script that they're saying. It's like a script, and I'm like, I mean, a black person, they gonna call you a motherfucker. They gonna call you maybe a chink, but they not gonna say you fucking Asians. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You really
bro.
got like. I mean, I'm from the Bay Area, where like a lot of the black community is rural. Like they came from the South, and like we like their slang and like the vernacular, like ebonics, for lack of a better word, is like ingrained in the culture, right? So like when you hear this shit, and to your point, like it's like, who the fuck says this? Like nobody in the South talks like this. Nobody. I mean, if you're talking, I've talked to like a bunch of black folks from the North, like Kansas and those like Midwest. Like they don't talk like that. They have like proper ass English. So nobody from the West Coast talks like that. So like that's crazy that you bring that up. I didn't even like think about that part of hiring insurgents or like agents to kind of like provoke these people or provoke the nation.
Yeah, because we know how crisis actors work. I mean, it was a couple of crisis actors in that school shooting stuff. How you at every school? How are you at every school? Like, are you just going to the school and you're the bad luck at the school? It just keeps getting shot up whenever you there. So it's like, I know how crisis actors work. I know that they just put them in places and then they call the diversion and then that person comes up to speak or that person's on camera. And the media is so sloppy with it, bro. They're so sloppy. They think that we're that stupid that we're not going to catch these people. They think that we're not human. We think, I don't know. I just think that it's just another propaganda thing. So it's two reasons why I just really don't think that it's true. Not to say that it's not, but I'm saying that it's the propaganda stuff. They did the same thing with the BLM, which I do
Mm-hmm.
not support, but they did the same thing with the BLM and infiltrate the organization. Let's go throw some bricks. You know, nobody was thinking about throwing bricks, and I was at that protest, bro. And
Yeah.
I work downtown. I drive a truck and I go deliver stuff or I go pick up stuff from the companies downtown. And it's like, okay, there's no construction going on here, but here's a pile of bricks one day before the protest. And then even somebody got really rowdy and was throwing stuff at the Bank of America building down there. And we all rallied together and was like, stop, nigga. You tripping. This is supposed to be peaceful. Then with the Trump supporter thing, which I'm also against too, because I'm just like, everybody's just everybody. It's no reason why we should be fighting over politics because it shouldn't even be a government. We should be governing ourselves. But same thing happened with the Trump supporters. You can't tell me that a state governored building only has 3 security officers there. You can't
Oh
tell me
hell no.
that. I go deliver something at Amazon and it's about 5 motherfuckers up there. So you can't tell me that a state governored building, the Capitol, where high end elite government officials walk in and out and it's only 3 security guards and then they just kind of let them in. They just let them in. It's the
But,
same thing, bro.
yeah, yeah. No, that's fucking crazy, and that's true. It's just, the American public is just very easily influenced. And I'm not gonna say I'm the most perfect person and I'm like the most wokest, but it's like you kind of got to read between the lines every once in a while and really see that you're getting fucking played here. It doesn't matter which side you're on, you're getting fucking played either way. Like somebody's pulling some strings to make sure at the end of the day they have a monetary gain out of this.
In some way, I think it's just more political. They just trying to make sure that their base is whoever they pandering to. They make sure that they, get them in the next term. Did you hear that?
But what? But, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Go
no, no.
ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, but what does that political power mean though without the dough? You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but dough is for their minions. They know that money versus power, money doesn't mean much because if I'm the person that pays you, you're always under my control. Money doesn't mean
True.
anything to those people. Power does. The more power you have, then you can shield out money. We make money. So money ain't really worth
True. True.
anything. Power is. If you have power over the masses, you control everybody. You're paying everybody. And the moment that they get out of line, all right, that's fine. We'll just throw a case on you that you was touching little kids.
Yo,
Oh,
those I'm still like digging deep into those Epstein files and like watching this shit on Netflix, and I'm just like so flabbergasted. That story, not even the story itself, that the story of him killing himself, went away so fast. Like they can really just put you away as quick as they want to. And I hope I never have to reach that level of security clearance and level of like success, but I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't mind it.
yeah, but that's because and that's another thing I love about your podcast, that little laugh, that little pop, 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 pop. That hoe, as soon as you hit that hoe, I'll be just going off in my truck. But yeah, did you hear about what happened in Florida? With Matt Gaza or Gunza, what's his name? I want to be. Basically, you know that the COVID passports are coming out.
Uh
Biden
huh.
just passed he just passed something through legislation to make COVID passports legal, basically. And people think that, like, oh, well, they've been having vaccines to go places. But no, it's deeper than that. They're going to have legal access to your medical records. So if you don't have the code, it's basically you need a passport to go anywhere in the United States. You know, you could just drive. I could just drive to Louisiana. I don't need a passport. I could just drive to it. But now with these COVID passports, we're going to be able to stop you right here at the border of Texas and Louisiana, and you have to show your passport, your COVID passport. And then if you don't have it, well, you just made a 8-hour drive for nothing. Go back around. And Biden just did this.
So what do you think their end goal is as far as to, create these these security clearances through state to state? Are they trying to separate the US and create like a fucking what is that movie? The girl with the bow and arrow? Like a Hunger Games. Like a Hunger Games type of thing. You instead of it's a district, it's like state to state, or are they trying to funnel out different states, less successful states like Nebraska or some shit like that? What do you think the end game is to all this?
Honestly, I don't know, because I don't think like a sick ass fucker. It could be literally everything. It could be from creating a Hunger Game. It could be from just cutting off the connection that we have with each other. It could be watering down anything from eugenics to money to anything. It could be anything. We don't know, because for one, we don't think like them. And for two, we don't have that type of power to even think of what they would be doing with it. That's why I'm just so against government, because anybody in that level of power is going to abuse it. They're going to abuse it every single time. Nobody that has that amount of power is going to stay true to everyone. They're always going to be out for themselves. And by the way, it's Matt Gaetz. Is that how
Gaetz? Matt Gaetz. That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And that's the best I'm going to try about it too.
Yeah, but he's the U.S. representative for Florida, and he stepped out the other day and was like, we ain't doing COVID passports. Y'all can miss us with that. We ain't doing it. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he totally against it. And now guess what? And now guess what he got on him? Allegations of being with the underage girl. Same as Trump. Same as Trump. What they do when he was over there talking about, we ain't gonna be sitting up there giving out mandatory vaccines. Oh, well, he been over there. He had connections with Epstein. Okay, guess what? I have connection with gangster ass niggas, but I ain't no gangster. We gotta stop putting people together just because they have connections with people. And that's the same thing. And they tried to railroad him just like that. They said, oh, well, he had connections with Trump. And we all know that we don't like Trump. So that's how they get us in the media, bro. That's how they get us. Connecting them with people that we don't like.
Yeah. It's really just all bait. Like who's gonna catch it, and who are we gonna have to keep fishing for at the end of the day? And that's crazy. What's most wild is about the Florida thing is, they haven't closed. Georgia and Florida have been running like COVID never even existed, but the population is the wildest part of it all. You seen Spring Break, and you seen the type of people who are out there. Who is it? It's like all black folks. It's all people of color, and the fact that the governor says like, oh, no, we're not gonna do this COVID passport shit. It's kind of like corralling black people together to kind of to get COVID in a sense, and go back to your city and kind of just continue this spread. And my whole belief on COVID, it's a serious thing, but my whole thing about it is like population control. I really do think it's population control. Like, who are the main targets of COVID so far? Of course, there's those outliers of that student from University of Florida who fell on court, and stories like that. But what is it? Mostly 65 and older, unhealthy folks who live unhealthy, and
black people.
How is it? Huh?
Black people.
Black folk,
They
black
said
folks,
65. They said people with health issues, and they said black people. Them should be actually Melinda
black and brown.
Gates said that. Oh, we need to get the vaccine out to black people first because they're the ones who's the highest risk. And I'm like, bitch, you take it. You take it. Let us know if it's safe enough for us to take because since you're so for it, you and your husband, y'all take it first. Let's see if it's as safe as y'all deem that it say it is.
Are you gonna take it?
No. I'm a truck driver. I work alone.
Oh, so you're smooth then.
No.
Yeah,
For now.
I'm about to, you'll be smooth. I'm gonna take mine on the 10th actually. And I could have took mine like back in February, but I was treating this shit like the iPhone, like the newest iPhone. You gotta wait a little while and see if like motherfuckers start going arms and shit. And then, it seems a little safer. And I want to start traveling again and doing shit outside. So I'm like, all right, if I got to take one for the team and be sick for like a day or two, I'll be smooth.
Bro, you survived this already. You haven't gotten sick all year.
That's the crazy part. So I actually had another podcast before, right? Called the Double Dribble Podcast. And it was probably around November or December 2019. And I was like gray. I was sick as a fucking dog. Like I was laying in my bed. My girl thought, oh, you're just acting, you're chilling. But she saw when she would see me, I'm like on my straight up deathbed, bro. And it was ridiculous. And I got better after like a week or two. And I told, this whole shit started breaking out in March. And I told her, I was like, yo, I think I had that shit in December, like for real. Cause remember I was sick. I couldn't smell. I couldn't eat. She was like, nah. Cause this shit came from China. And I was like, and I told her, ooh, I don't know, dog. But, as like the year wore on and I kind of kept telling that story, she started to believe it more and really think like, oh shit, you know what? You actually might have had it because that entire year last year, I didn't get sick at all. Like I was chilling.
Well,
it
makes sense if you got it in December last year because it's called COVID-19. So this whole thing really happened in 2019 and it just got brought to the forefront in 2020. And I had a similar situation where I just got sick out of nowhere. I started feeling shitty on Tuesday. And then I was like, damn, and it was in December, just as you. And I was like, oh, well, it's just because of this crazy little weather change. Texas, we're up and down with the weather. Nobody ever wants to move here. We're not like you guys where it's like women, weed, and weather. It's just like, it's shitty over here. And I got sick.
It's foggy right now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's foggy right now. It's like a cold 62.
Really? Don't that bother you that California is not sunny?
Nah, it's hella sunny over here. We actually had some beautiful days this past week. I just, the shitty days are really shitty for me. I'm a very big like weather dude. Like if it's kind of cold and windy outside, I'll kind of just stay in the house. But when it's nice and hot and sunny, I'm out. I gotta go out and do something, like whether it's just going to sit down at a park and reading a book or something. I gotta be outside in the sun. Maybe that's like the tropical in me too.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. In my last episode before you, is that like people with melanin, we get like seasonal depression because the sun charges us.
Yeah. I never really thought about it until my girl like brought it up that like we are island folks. Like we are naturally from the sun. We need heat. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, we totally get that shit, bro. We totally get that season depression. We don't like being cold. A lot of people don't like being cold. I only see white people jogging, when it's in the winter.
Thriving when it's cold.
Yeah, a little shorts on and whatnot, long sleeve, I guess. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, I guess if I like that type of weather too, I would be out there. Like, my girl, she's Sicilian and German. She loves that fucking cold shit. She be opening up the door. Me and the cat be shivering on the couch. Like, it's crazy. And we just be shivering like a motherfucker. But yeah, with the whole thing about, just to take it back to where we was, I I want Asians to be careful about aligning themselves and calling on the help of government, because they're already a pretty established community on their own. They don't need government. They built everything that they have. I mean, of course, and let me just say this, like, black people don't hate Asians. We've been going to go eat shrimp fried rice and get our nails done and get hair from them forever. We're literally their economic base. So we don't hate them. And the fact that the media is trying to shift it to like we hating them is crazy. We've never even thought about messing with no Asian people. If anything, white people. Crazy white people,
Yeah.
not the good
Yeah.
ones. Because there's some good ones out there. I mean, my girlfriend's white, so that's a good one right there. But
It's the not American ones. Like, I'm not trying to put everybody into like pigeonhole everybody, but you notice like good white folks are like, like Germans and like overseas type of white folks. But like you get purebred Americans, like they'll be some shitty folks. Like those are some shitty people. For real, for real. Like I've met some white folks and like the Davises and the fucking Peter Grews and shit. And I'm like, damn, y'all don't know you suck, but y'all kind of suck.
But it's because the government tricked them. They tricked them into thinking that they were superior. So it's like no matter like a rich black person and a poor white person has more in common than a rich white person and a poor white person. And so those rich white people and the elites, they duped them into thinking that they were superior. So they're like, oh, it doesn't matter if we come from the same walk of life, because at the end of the day, black person, you are still less than me. Even though we both live in a trailer park, we both work at fucking Walmart, and we both got a fucking Honda Accord, we still the same. And that's where they duped them at, right there. And those shitty white people, they hold on to that superiorism of I'm better than you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we live in a trailer park together. I know that I'm better than you, because why? The government told me so. And I've even had to step back from saying white folks, because it's not white folks that's doing it. It's the government. It's the government and the
It's
elite.
economics. It's all that. Yep.
That they're controlling everything. I read this one thing on Facebook the other day that made perfect fucking sense, and it describes America to the T. Black ants and red ants. If you put them in a jar, then they won't fuck with each other. They'll just, stay with their people.
Oh, yeah. I seen that yesterday, too.
Yeah. And then if you shake it up, they'll just start killing each other for no fucking reason. The black ants and the red ants will just start fucking each other up. And at the end of the day, you can't blame the red ant or the black ant. You got to blame the motherfucker that shook up the damn jar. And that's the government. The government is shaking up America so that we just kill ourselves. That's why I like to talk to people about religion. I like to talk to people about race. I like to talk to people about politics, because at the end of the day, we ain't that fucking different from each other, bro. And the more that you shouldn't be separating yourself. We should be all coming together to figure out who the fuck is shaking the jar.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, though. That's the whole thing about race, is to kind of keep people divided. And it's crazy that you bring up like trailer park people and shit like that. I don't want to nerd out too much, but it reminds me of this scene in Lord of the Rings, right? Where one of the sorcerers was gaslighting the fuck out of this one tribe, this one like village, broke ass motherfuckers, like long beards, they look battered, like they're all dirty and shit. And the sorcerer was telling them that, yo, these people stole your lands. They fucked with you. Like, go back and take them. And when it pans out to the next scene and you see them like doing the raping and pillaging, like that village is just as fucked up as their village is. And it's like people are so quick to follow someone and not think for themselves and really like be reactionary. They don't want to like take a step back and assess the situation. They just think they have to do. And that's a lot of that is like very instinctive. It's like animalistic. It's what not even what we know necessarily. It's like what's embedded in our DNA. And for me, like right now, I'm practicing to do a lot of things to try to like, this is on a personal level. I'm doing a lot of things to kind of find myself and find my triggers and like try to like smooth out those animalistic instincts or those like those basic instincts that I like that I react to, like what triggers me and shit. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They're pretty set in their ways. And so to your point, like, we should be coming together. We should be learning about other religions and other people's point of view, and you know, not and going into a conversation without the intent of trying to like create an ally, without trying to like pull somebody to your side or completely change their view to yours. It's like, okay, you think like this, I think like this, like that's cool. That's fine. We're still cool. We'll be cordial. Like we don't got to be best friends, or maybe you are best friends and you have a different point of view. But nobody, especially in 2021, wants to be associated with someone who has a different point of view, and that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, because then you create this echo room where everybody's like, yep, 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 like a minions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me, like the SpongeBob thing. All those damn little sardines get together and it's like, me. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
like to talk to people that have like a different opinion, because I can learn from you and you can learn from me. And even with social media, do you remember that damn, what is that show on Netflix? Like the social experience or something like that.
The social experience, the one where they the people who used to work for these tech giants, that
Yes.
we're talking about how much of a mistake it was
Yes.
after the fact that they got paid, after the fact they left the company, and they that's some fuck shit, dude. It's around, for whoever hasn't watched it yet, you definitely have to go watch that. But it reminds me of parents who are blaming Cardi B for like, yo, you you don't let your kids listen to WAP, but make these songs for my kids. And it's like, bruh, handle your own fucking kids. Like, take responsibility. Like, Cardi B is feeding her family. She's making sure her daughter doesn't listen. Why don't you do the same? Why don't you get off your fucking phone and do the same?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the exact same thing we're dealing with.
Yeah. That's definitely what we dealing with. You said that you didn't want to nerd out, but we is though. You were speaking of conspiracy theories and things of that sort when you interviewed a young lady by the name of Maggie Doug. I went to her channel. You definitely turned me on to her. She talk about a lot of spiritual healing, mental therapy for yourself, what you can do to enhance those things. And y'all was talking about aliens and stuff like that. Um,
Yo, I've
yeah,
gone into a rabbit hole.
me too. What's some of the rabbit holes that you went into?
Well, a lot of it was just like a lot of self exploration. I was actually trying to do that thing, the astral projection. Um, yeah, I was trying to get into that, and then I got into the theory of like parallel worlds in the middle of the core of the Earth. Um, and then alien. I mean, it's crazy that it was announced that aliens are gonna come like June 2 or something. Have you read that?
Uh-uh.
Yes, I forget. Maybe it's like the New York Post. I'll send it
I
to you
try,
later. But
I try
yeah,
not to.
somebody
I try to stray
announced
away
online
from. I try to stray away from those because I know that they ain't telling us the damn truth. Just like Maggie Doug
that.
said, they ain't telling us the fucking truth.
But that shit's just hella funny though, right? Like just the fact that they have a date on it. Like, yo, June 2nd, book it. It was like last year when everybody went to went to Area 51 and camped down. Like, okay, they can't get all of us. Let's fucking raid it. And I was honestly ready. I was
You
tuned
went
into the live stream last year
when y'all were about
when the
the
area
raid
when,
Area 54
yeah,
or 51. I
yeah,
mean,
I was on a live stream and I was like, oh, let's go. Like, I'm gonna just sit here all day and watch this live stream and make sure this shit happens without thinking like, damn, I kind of wasted a whole day on this shit.
of them standing at the gate and being
Mm-hmm.
scary as fuck.
They were talking some head though. They were talking a lot of head, like they were about it. But
They
at the end
wasn't.
of the day, they saw those machine guns, and I would have been like, you know what? It's cool barbecue day. It's cool to get out.
School barbecue day. Some of the rabbit holes that I done been through is the Pizzagate thing. That Pizzagate thing,
Pizzagate.
yeah, the Pizzagate thing with all of those people like what is Comet Pizza? With Comet Pizza having this tunnel that takes all these kids like because Comet Pizza, first of all, one end of it seems like it's meant for kids, but have all of this um crazy ass art, like adult art and adult
Mm-hmm.
imagery. And it serves pizza. What better meal for a kid than pizza? But it's really an adult place, but kids can be there. And so, like, they snatch your little kids up and they take them in a tunnel that's underneath the ground. And then you just never hear from your kid again. That was one of them. And then that led, and then that kind of took me to like, I'm 31. So back then, the missing kid thing was
Oh yeah.
fucking
I'm
Walmart
30, so I'm
bulletin.
right there with you.
Yeah, was Walmart bulletin board, and you walk in with your basket, and it's right there, and you're like, oh, Jerkeisha's missing, and Amy's missing, and Javier's missing. Damn, hope they get found. And then what, like
Yeah.
the next day or something, you'd see like, oh, they got found or they was found dead, and the bodies showed up. But nowadays, you ain't hearing about bodies showing up no more, bro. It's just they're gone in the fucking wind. And that's over with. And then that led me to adrenochrome. And then adrenochrome led me to Hillary Clinton laptop. Then Hillary Clinton laptop led me to what's that guy's name? I forget, but they was having conversation back and forth, and then that led me to Obama's laptop and him ordering $80,000 worth of fucking hot dogs, which is a code word in the FBI for little boys. And it's like, okay, you're an elective official and you're the president and y'all having a party, but y'all eating hot dogs? Something sounds
Damn, you
fishy.
really went deep.
I
You went
did.
deep, deep.
I'm
I
a,
went deep
I'm
in
a
the
truck
sense I
driver.
was trying to I went deep in the sense I was trying to astral project and like glide around and shit. You went deep into the whole hole. I like that. I gotta start fucking with that.
Yeah,
I
I
might
went
I
super.
might need to change my rabbit hole method.
No, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to get the fuck off this planet. I'm just still here picking up fucking breadcrumbs of the shit that they've already filled the hole with. And yeah, that shit is crazy. Like that Obama one fucked me up because I did vote for him the first time. I voted for him the first time, and I'm
Same.
not gonna lie, it's because he was black. I wanted a black
Yeah,
person to
no,
win.
I mean, it's to your point earlier about like the Democrats appealing to, minority communities and communities of influence. At the end of the day, bro, what did Obama do? Like, what is it that Obama did that was so different from Trump aside from being black?
Yeah, he didn't do
Because
anything.
the
He didn't do
the
fucking
wording was the
anything.
same. Like he had camps for kids, on the border, which they called I forget what they're called, but like it's just the wordplay was different. I mean, it's the same thing with Biden now. The only Biden recently signed a bill to basically pay himself and the government $8 million to build a hotel style type of situation for these encamped children and families along the border. So he paid ICE to build these camps or to build these hotels. So he's basically paying himself back to do that. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? Like, isn't and this is not like big. This has not become like big news yet. Nobody's tripping about this. It was just like a quick ticker on the screen, and then that was it. That's gone. I didn't hear anything about it afterwards.
Yeah, that's because that was their guy. I heard that he's like connected or um like a relative of like Bill Clinton. Oh no, George Bush. That's what I heard. Like he's like a relative, like a second, third, or fourth cousin or something like that. I heard that, and it wasn't from
Huh.
TikTok, folks. It was just through research. Because everybody be like, oh, that girl, that TikToker information. But some of that shit on TikTok is legit. Um, you said that you be over there trying to astroplane and everything like that. Have you seen the OA on Netflix?
No.
Man, that is a good ass motherfucking show. I'm gonna have to send you not the link, but just go watch the OA. like it's basically like they're traveling into another lifetime, bro. They travel into another lifetime after they did. They've figured out, oh my God, 10 fucking minutes. Okay. My crew is over here saying 10 minutes. But okay, with the OA, it's about in another life is another one go watch. Since you into astroplaning and sci-fi and stuff, like I got really into sci-fi once. I started going down the rabbit hole of this stuff because they started talking about reptilians, not in OA, but these YouTubers started talking about reptilians and Hillary Clinton being one of them and all of this and all of that. And the OA is one of them that I really fucking like on Netflix. It's only for one
The
season.
OA.
Yeah, it's only for one
Okay.
season. They fucking canceled it. I guess it was some truth to it. You know, when they
It
start
was
canceling,
too informative.
yeah, yeah. So they started to basically live beyond their life. They died, but
Mhm.
then they woke up in another life, in another plane of their life. You know, like they say that we have different lives on every different planets and every different spectrum. And this was a
Mhm.
big one because they would do these moves and then it would take them to another life, and apparently they were still connected, like you're connected to a group of people for the rest of your life in every life that you live. And this one person, she was connected to this nigga that like literally locked her up in a basement and had her like was experimenting on her because he was obsessed with the afterlife. So even in her afterlife, he was there like as her
Oh,
husband or like her friend or her therapist, because at one point she had got locked up in a crazy house. And yeah, that shit got me really crazy. But Maggie, the young lady that you interviewed, she was saying a lot of powerful stuff, and she was like, we think that we're less powerful than we are, but we're more powerful than them, meaning the reptilian, and they know
yeah.
this, and that's why they try to control us. And I'm just like, if we could get to that point where we figure out that there is actually life after death, then that would be a huge, crazy thing because then we wouldn't be as scared of dying anymore. We would live out our dreams here on this plane, and we wouldn't worry about making a bunch of money. We wouldn't worry about working. We wouldn't worry about any of that stuff. And that's what the elites do for the most part is keep us motherfucking working, keep us,
Yeah.
in
They just keep
line.
us in the rat race.
Yeah, keep
Yep.
us in that damn rat race. And if you knew that, yeah, the rat race is okay, but after this life, I'm just going over to another life. That would change humanity at a grand state, bro.
Yeah, no, you said some like very prolific shit. You for sure got to connect with Maggie because she'd be a great fucking guest on your show. And one of the big things that I've been kind of dealing with or like trying to trying to learn is like astrology, and it kind of lends itself into knowing myself and what I want in this life. That's one of the things. So I actually quit my job in last July. Like I could have been secure, I could have been still working, but I just fucking hated it. Like I literally lived in fucking misery and I just couldn't take it anymore. So like since July I haven't had a job. I'm actually about to start a job this Monday.
Okay, so why did
But
you
yeah,
go back if you was miserable?
well, I got a new job, but it's a better job.
Oh, okay.
One like something I actually like to do. Like I'm gonna be working out and getting paid to fucking work out, so that's lit. You know,
That is.
during that time, I was allowed to like kind of work on myself and get to know myself a lot better in different ways, and that I think to get to that point where we're comfortable with death, where you're talking about like where we, maybe we will get there is a next life. We got to be comfortable with ourselves, and we got to take that second to really learn about who we are as people, like individuals. And for the pandemic, it kind of did that for me, but not everybody was able to, have that time for themselves because everybody was worried about how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And rightfully so, at the end of the day, you got to take care of your physical body as well. And you got to take care of your family. But this past year was supposed to be like a big time of reflection, but a lot of people were just like aching and, bitching about like, let's go outside. Like I'm ready to go outside without actually like putting in the work on themselves. And that was like a big missed point in this time, especially because it's a year later. What are you doing now that's any different?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you didn't do anything different during the quarantine, you're not going to do anything different with the rest of your life. Like you're just going to be drinking, going out every weekend, and to each his own and all that. But like, yeah, if you really didn't use this year, if you were miserable before the pandemic and you just like tried to fight through it and thought you were persevering, it's like you're not doing it. You're not doing yourself a service. Like you're not doing the people around you a service, and you kind of like lose out on your own potential, really.
Yeah. Um, you was talking about movies. We got 5 minutes, but I just want to get into it. I mean, fuck it. You was talking about the movies and how they put little hints in them. What are some of the movies that you think that you already named? The Matrix. We already know the Matrix. But is there any other movies that you feel like they didn't put other hints into?
Um, there's I feel like there are big obvious ones like X-Men and like eugenics. And they're very timely because there's this thing among like Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's bring the X-Men in. Like let's see how we're gonna integrate them. So it's little hints like that. But recently I haven't been looking too much into movies. To be honest, I haven't been watching too many movies. But that from the top of my head, like the MCU, they got like a lot of little Easter eggs on life right now.
Yeah, one of the big ones that I seen was like all them damn zombie movies. Cause okay, now
Mm.
all them damn zombie movies, and now the CDC puts out how to survive an apocalypse. Okay, like, and it's still on their site to this day. How to survive an apocalypse.
When they put that out.
I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago that they put it out. How to survive a zombie apocalypse, and everybody was like, "Ooh, look at this," and I was like, "Bro, it ain't like we ain't had zombies before. Remember that whole ordeal in Florida with the bath salt?"
The bath salts?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yo, that was that was like that was really like the rise of Florida as we know it today. That's why when people see Florida like this shit happening now in Florida is just like it's normalized, and that's fucked up because like we were talking about at the top of the show, they're like the catalyst for this all. They're the experiments, and like I said, it's all black folks there.
yeah. People running through their damn cars, running naked all over the street. And it's never really any fine bitches that's running naked in the street. It's just always dudes and shit.
Nah, that's true. That's true. You don't ever see the same baddies like chilling. Like they're having a good time. They're gonna go back to Dallas, Texas. They're gonna go back to Nebraska where they're from and be chill. But like it'd be like the crackhead white folks that'd be crazy. Like I'm dead serious about that. It's like the ones with like two teeth missing in the front, and then they ask you for money. You give them $1, and they're like, only $1, you cheap fuck. And I'm like, fuck you. Give me my fucking dollar back.
You know what makes me mad about homeless people? It's the picky homeless people. I go into the store and I give them like a McDouble, some fries, and a drink, and they're like, "I wanted McChicken," and I'm like, "How the fuck you know what a McChicken is? You've been homeless for 5 fucking years."
You know, okay, I got two bad experiences with homeless folks, and it's fucked up. So I was downtown SF going to a catering job. I think it was like I was like 19 or 20. I was going to a catering job. I had my backpack. I had like apples and bananas and a sandwich, and I didn't have it, and I didn't want it because I was gonna get food from the catering, right? When I get on my break. So I see this homeless dude, shirtless. He's a white dude, so he's like leathery and shit. When white people get leathery.
No, I do
And I was
not
like,
know. My girl never gets leathery, bro.
no, okay. When you see white people, they get leathery when they're in the sun. So I was like, "Hey man, you want this?" And he looked up at me and said, "Fuck you!" And I was like, for real? And you know what? I was like 19. I was like 19, 18, 19, 20s. So I was like brash and like and I looked. I was like, "Fuck you too, fuck you." And then we just had a shouting match, and I walked away. I was like, "Fuck this, man." So yeah, that was a bad experience. And then my second one, it wasn't a terrible experience. It was just a whack one. So it was in the middle of quarantine. I went to McDonald's and this homeless dude was like, "Hey man, you think you could buy me a meal?" I was like, "For sure." And I only walked into McDonald's to go to the bathroom. But the bathrooms were all closed at the time because it was May during quarantine. And I was like, fuck my life. Now I gotta buy this motherfucker a meal and I don't even get to use the fucking bathroom. And he was like, "Hey, you still gonna buy me that food, right?" I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, what the fuck do you want? And so like
so
I wanted
rude
to do
the
it
homeless though.
I wanted to do it out the goodness of my heart, and like, I'm pretty generous, but I was like, damn, I don't even get to use the bathroom for this god. Like, you gonna do me like that? So I had to wait in line, 5 or 6 people in front of me, and then I gotta wait in line to not use the bathroom and buy him a meal. I'm not buying myself a meal. I'm not buying my girl a meal. I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, I guess it's like a test of patience. And I'm like those are the two worst experiences I've had with homeless folks. The second one wasn't even dude's fault. I needed to piss so bad.
Man, I I really fucking enjoyed your time. Somebody already have called me about, hey, letting me up about the next interview. And we definitely got to get back together because, as you can see, this conversation just flowed. I didn't even answer. I didn't even get a chance to answer all the questions that I had for you. Look at this.
Oh, shit.
This is front and back. We didn't even get a chance to go all over it all. But I find that, like, with podcasters, that I don't usually have to go on script with what I want to talk about because you guys are podcasters. You know how to talk. But I knew that it was going to go over, so I already knew I didn't even have no 5 rapid questions for you. I mean, I could do a 5 rapid question if you wanted.
I got the time. I'm not particularly like strapped on time right now. So if you're down, I could.
Okay, here we go. The 5 rapid questions with Wally Hipolito. Did I say that correct? It's
You
like
got it.
Hipolito is like Shakoya.
Shakoya. Well, people be thinking I'm Asian now they be thinking I'm Hispanic after that name.
And my eye did clear up. It started getting a little bit more open since we was talking. But
I see you stop wiping your eyes. I was like, hey, she's good.
Okay.
I didn't want to mention it, but I was like, all right, nah, she got herself back.
Okay. In the gist of the show, Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper busting in your face. Which one? Which one would you rather bust in your face? Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Okay. If you was into politics, which one would you go with? Democrats or Republicans?
Republicans.
Okay. Which one is a good base for your breakfast? A banana or an apple?
Banana.
Huh? my crew over here like banana. Nope, he said apple.
No, I said banana.
Oh, he said banana.
I said banana.
Apples are
trying to win.
Apples are shitty, bro. Apples are shitty as fuck. Anyway,
apples are not shit. Hey, no, apples are not. I'm not gonna let you slander apples. It's not a breakfast food, but apples are the shit.
Boy, bananas are just filled with carbs and sugar. No, fuck potassium.
Yep.
Fuck
and
potassium.
Vitamin B.
Fuck potassium. I never needed that shit in a decade. I got the sun, baby. You live in San Francisco. Which gang are you joining? The Bloods or the Crip? And choose wisely, because you live out there. I don't.
Shit. For all my babe, I think I'd have to go. I think I'd have to go with Crips.
Okay. No, God. I just said
I'm not gonna throw. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
I just said Trips.
I'm not gonna set myself up. I'm a little. Shakoya, come on. I'm not gonna set myself up and do that.
Okay.
I'm trying to travel.
Okay. We're at the Podcaster Awards. Which one are you wanting to big up you? The Joe Budden podcast or the Joe Rogan podcast?
The Joe Budden podcast.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I wish we had more time so we could go over that shit. Anyways, and then the last but not least, So you got some equipment. You want it to be the top. Which one are you going? Which camera are you going with? Blackmagic or Canon?
Canon.
Okay. Well, that is the 5 rapid
I don't even
questions.
know what a Blackmagic is. I'm gonna be real.
Man, Blackmagic is like the top tier cameras that you need to get. Like, it does everything, bro. My tech, he has it, and that's why I get the quality that I have in my cameras. Because I mean, I have a Canon, but if you compare it to Blackmagic, it's not even close to where that is. It just does a lot more for your production experience and the visuals of it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. But shout out all of your social medias. I definitely want everybody to tune in to Off the Stoop podcast because it's phenomenal, bro.
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I had a good ass time. We definitely got to do this again. I'm
We
down every
do.
time. I gotta have you on my show too, eventually. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Off the Stoop Podcast. You can follow my personal at Wally Hipolito. The same goes for my Twitter at Wally Hipolito. You can stream all my stuff. It's only audio right now. It's on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeart, Pandora, Amazon Podcasts, and one
Google
other one. I
Play.
don't really care about that other one. Stitcher, I think. And
It's on Google Play.
yeah,
also.
just hit up my
It's on Google Play also.
Oh yeah, Google Play. Thank
Yeah.
you. And yeah, you just hit me up on the DMs. I'm always down to have conversations with folks. Hit me up now before I get too big for my head and I start getting millions of followers. So you want to ride that wave.
For sure. Why you think you're here at an hour crowder? Because I had to get you before you dipped off, and then you want to get paid for this shit.
I appreciate it, Shakoya. It was dope, man. Like I really enjoyed the fuck out of this. Like not a lot of people know how to like have like conversations. I know podcasters are pretty cool, but then like a lot of podcasters, especially like you're so well versed and like you're so natural. But a lot of podcasters, it really takes them time. And even when I would watch your first couple episodes, like you had it on, to be real. Like you had like a natural flow with people, which is cool. Like that takes a lot, and that's like a real skill.
Yeah, for sure. You as well. Well, brother, I'm gonna hit you up some other time. I got another podcast that I gotta do, and you're awesome. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Thank you. You too.
Okay,
Keep putting in that work, right?
Okay, and that's an hour with Crowder.